We're glad to have you. Today we're a little short. All of the elected officials up in Tallahassee are at a meeting. And so instead of being here where we can bug them, they're up there and letting somebody else bug them. So, we salute the flag, please. Everybody, please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. February is a month that Delray Alliance had their elections. I'd like to announce the people running from the board who will be running for re-election. And that would be Dr. Lori Vinegar, Paul Finkelstein, Paul, down here, who runs our website and everything else to do with that. Susie Zuckerman, she's in the back someplace. Evelyn is our recording secretary, and me. And so, if anybody's interested in being on the agenda for next month's meeting, where we don't get a chance to talk, if they intend to run for the board, would you please contact me and give me some information, so we'll be able to arrange for that. So otherwise, the 5 board members are rerunning, so they'll be on the ballot. Okay, with that, we're going to call on, as usual, we're going to call on Ani, what are you doing down there, Ani?
I'm sleeping.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to announce all of our guests this morning. Harry Rauscher, Lake Worth Drainage District. Reginald Duran, Palm Beach County Fire and Rescue Senior Chief. Rosemary Raymond, Lake Worth Drainage District. Chris Keene, Green. Chris Keene, Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. Mike Pratt, Palm Beach County Property Appraiser's Office. Mouth is not working. Ed Saul, Emily Schlossberg's office. Howie Zimmerman, Property Appraiser's Office. Savannah Hamilton, Tina Polsky's office. Linda Cherry, Emily Schlossberg's office. Senator Maria Sachs. Jenny Caesar, Congresswoman Lois Frankel's office. Megan White, Commissioner Berger's office. Chris Nordstrom, State Senator Kevin Rader's office. Evelyn Depew, Senator Lori Berman's office. Gabriella Ferraro, Tax Collector Andrew Gannon's office. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
As usual, we'll have reports from the various departments. Here, I'm going to call on Lieutenant Morales. Lieutenant Morales has some information first.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Take this off of here. There we go. Much better. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Is it just me, or the traffic's really picking up around here? It took me like an hour to get here. With that being said, just a PSA, stay alert, especially these times where the traffic's really busy. Stay alert. Don't be distracted. Do yourself a favor and help yourself arrive alive wherever you're going. Okay. So, my name is Mike Morales. I'm a lieutenant with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. I'm the executive officer here in District 4 for Captain Sant, who's unable to be here today. A couple things I want to talk about crime in 2020. We're off to a good start. Crime is down in January. Now, a couple things I attribute that to is, first off, crime prevention. Every time we get an opportunity, we talk about that. What does that mean? It means locking your car doors, securing your house, not leaving valuables in your car in the parking lot right now. Those are all crime prevention techniques, and I think it's working. People are doing it, and we're seeing results. Secondly, for the first time in a long time, we were fully staffed here in District 4. What does that mean? That means we have more deputies on the streets, more proactivity, more police lights, which displaces crime. Criminals that come into the area and see police activity, they're going to go elsewhere. So those two factors, I think, are making a big impact in reducing crime here in the area. All right. One more thing I wanted to bring up. We had a really good case that the detectives worked, and it was a robbery that occurred on Atlantic at a Boost mobile store last June. So the detective worked diligently, made 2 arrests on the case, and they just got sentenced to 5 years in prison. So good stuff. So I wanted to bring that to your attention just to let you know how long these cases take from start to finish. And the good work that the detectives did. Good job. All right. I want to talk about 3 events that they're upcoming, and they're going to be great. We just had one here at the Civic Center where we had the Sheriff's Office had the pillbox drop. What that is, people bring in old prescription medications, and we take them and we dispose of them. We filled up 4 huge bags. So I wanted to bring that up as a reminder. Good time to check your medicine cabinet, things that are expired, medicine that you don't need. We have a pillbox drop station at our substation here off of Atlantic, so utilize that. It's a good option. Secondly, this Friday we have another event.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we're going to have a table set up there with some crime prevention specialists answering questions and handing out literature for you all. So stop by and say hello. All right. And lastly, in April, we are holding a craze training. What that is a run, hide, and fight active shooter training. It's completely free. It's in April. It's here at the Civic Center. We handed out flyers. I think Dr. Venacore sent it out on the email. And it's a really great training. Super great reaction and feedback that we had last year. So take advantage of that. It's in April. Don't forget. I officially invite all of you. It's open to the public, all right? So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Supervisor, no, hold on. Chief Tony. How can I forget that? Come on, Chief. Give us a good word.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. So how many of you made it out to the wonderful wellness expo we had, was it Friday? What a wonderful collaborative between the Alliance and Delray. A lot of interesting things. I partaked in some of the wonderful exhibits that were there. It was really nice show, and thank you for those of you that came out. We're looking forward, as Lieutenant Morales alluded to, Friday, another big day. We're going to have our drowning prevention coordinator there set up with a booth. We're going to have our pub ed folks. We're going to have an engine and a rescue out front with a little static display. So please come by and say hi to the guys and gals that are working so hard for you every day, okay? All right, so we're going to look at the year at a glance, basically, and I'm just going to, rather than go through each individual type of call, I'm going to give you the numbers. Station 41, the total number of calls last year was 4,977. Station 42, 3,545. Station 44 ran 2,492. Station 45, Kings Point, let's hear it for them, 5,215 calls. How about getting to know your neighbor, huh? Station 46, 2,519. Station 47, 2,680. Station 48, 2,035. And Station 52, 1,376. So, I'd like to recognize my boss, Chief Dern, in the back of the room. He's come out to say hello. He's given us initiative to see that we have a countywide benchmark for a response time of 7 minutes and 30 seconds for calls that we run. So I'm proud to say in my battalion, on average, we exceeded that. The longest average response time we had was 7 minutes and 29 seconds. And the quickest we had was 6 minutes and 19 seconds. This is for an annual average, so it's not lip service, folks. We're getting it out there. The guys and gals are getting to their trucks and getting to you quicker than we ever have before. We're going to constantly work on that goal. So I'm proud to report that to you. One other quick thing I wanted to go over. You guys heard about something, this coronavirus. You might have heard something about it. Yeah. World Health Organization, they just designated it to be a global epidemic. So what are some of the things we can do? Very good. That's the number one thing. Wash our hands. It's like being back in school, but it really makes a difference. Palm Beach County, I want you to know we've already got our comprehensive plan in place. Our Division Chief of Medical Services, Charlie Coyle, who was out here to visit with you last month, I believe, gave that amazing presentations on heart attacks and strokes. He's put together a very comprehensive plan for us. So our guys and gals in the field are ready. We're out there looking for any type of symptoms, and most importantly, we're looking to see what we can do to make sure that you're safe. So I'm proud to report back on that. What are some other things we can do to keep ourselves safe? One of the things is to recognize your personal space, right? So everybody's got it. They say it ranges from 18 inches to about 3 feet. Again, the CDC, World Health Organization, is saying, hey, when you're out in crowds, people you don't know, let's take that 3-foot distance there. Another thing we can do is try and prevent any type of, passing along any maybe bugs that we have. So what did we learn in school about that? Right, grabbing that elbow. They say that's the best way to prevent passing along any germs when you sneeze or cough. So just a couple little things. I think I read the statistics. Now they're looking at 373 people that have passed away as a result of this epidemic. The flu, 10,000. Okay? Amount of cases, people infected, 17,000 with the coronavirus. We're at 16 million this season with the flu that have been infected. So you're in good hands. It's just let's maintain awareness. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Wish you all a blessed and happy month, and look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you, Chief Doty. It's always a pleasure to have you. Nicole Carson. Nicole Carson is from the Supervisor of Election. She wants to have a little information for us. Come on, Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here representing our Supervisor of Elections, Wendy Sartori-Link. She sends her regards. She wasn't able to make it this morning, so because she has another event that she's speaking to at as well. Just a few updates and reminders. We do have an upcoming election. It is March 17th. It is the presidential preference primary. And also I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the last day to register or make any changes to your voter registration, which is February the 18th. That is our book closing for this particular election that's coming up. So if you need to update your signatures, if you need to change your party or an address, basically your party or update any signatures, that the last day to do that is February the 18th. Early voting is coming up as well. Early voting starts March 7th through the 15th. March 7th through the 15th. You can see the locations where early voting will be taking place on our website, which is pbcelections.org. Early voting starts from 10 in the morning to 6 o'clock p.m. from the 7th through the 15th. So if you have any questions, if any of you have vote by mails on file, you can definitely contact the office, and we will be able to help you any way we can to make sure that this election, our first round of elections for this year, is going to be a successful one. Okay, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Karen Bill, representative of our school board. She represents us on the school board. Karen, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I have two things to talk to you about. Because I saw the penny surtax on the screen, first I want to thank you from the school board for helping us. Also, we'll be hearing more about it, but it's been a great help in our maintenance and our repairs in the schools. But I'm going to tell you something you don't know about. When the school board and the county got together and we had a meeting to discuss the sales tax, I asked my colleagues, as well as the county commission, to allow us to sunset the tax when we reach that dollar amount, right? Because I didn't want to vote for 10 years. I wanted to vote on the dollars. And guess what? I'm on the school district's oversight committee, and it looks like we may sunset at year 9. So it may not be 10 years of the sales tax, and I know that helps everybody that's on a fixed budget, but we are doing fantastic and we thank you. The other thing I want to tell you is it's embarrassing when I pick up the newspaper. Embarrassing, it aggravates me, it incenses me. I know all of you are reading about that principal again, who said that some people believe that the Holocaust didn't happen, so he does not have to enforce the curriculum. Well, as you know, we fired him. And right now, the reason he's in the newspaper, people have been asking me, is because he's suing us to get his job back. And the more he speaks, the worse it gets. Now, today, Frank Cherubino did a fantastic column. But when you read the comments that are being made, you know that the underlying cause is anti-Semitism. And there is no place for hate and no place for a history denier in the school district. So the way the process works is that there is an administrative judge who is now hearing the case. If he decides that we shouldn't have fired the principal, he will send it back to the superintendent, and then your school board's going to have to vote again on whether we rehire him. I am hoping, praying that doesn't happen, but if it does, I'm going to come back here to all of you again and give you that email address again to write, to express your thoughts, because you know I will always be your voice on the school board, and we cannot let anyone who denies history teach our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And of course, I'd like to introduce our sponsor of our breakfast this morning. Come on up here, young lady. It's AGT. They've been with us for a very long time. They're always long supporters of the Alliance and everything we do. And today, they help feed us. Come on, Karen.
Thank you. 1 minute. Well, it won't take me very long to thank everyone for the opportunity to be here, the privilege to provide your service, and thank the many thousands of homes in the Alliance of Delray that are members of our ADT Community Association family. I put some materials on your table. I hope you'll take a look at it and give us the opportunity to protect you and provide life safety, home automation, and many other things through our dedicated team. We're a local company right on Yamato Road, and I've been with the company and with this community group for many, many years. So again, thank you again.
All right. Thank you much. You're staying. You're always there for us. We appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to introduce Dr. Lori Winnicott, and she has a bunch of things to do. Come on, Lori.
To start our program, yes. Yes. Remember, on your emails, you saw 2 major events this week, and one was this one, and also Friday. It's been in the newspaper. It's going to be very well attended, I'm sure. Right now, you have at your seats a schematic of where all of the divisions and offices are going to be. That on Friday, you could bring this with you on Friday. We'll also have a large one outside so you can see what you'd like to visit. But you should look at every table. It's going to be very interesting and educational. And we're putting a human face on government, and you'll be able to actually speak with staff members from the county. What we have today is an exceptional program. We have the Virginia Baker, our county administrator, who manages an annual budget of $5.2 billion. And she oversees about 5,500 county employees in more than 40 departments, which, of course, will be featured this Friday. She's been with the county for 33 years, at least. Isn't that something? And she's only like 34 years old. There you go. Starting as the budget analyst and going to impact fee coordinator, she became our assistant county administrator. There is nobody better in the country, as they found when they hired her as county administrator a couple of years ago. There's nobody better than Virginia Baker to really administrate our county. And we're going to hear now all about the sales tax, where we stand after about a little more than 3 years, 3 years that we are paying that half penny toward the infrastructure and other things that are going to be taken care of in the county. So, Virginia Baker.
Good morning. Good morning. Come on, good morning. Good morning. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank the Alliance of Delray for inviting me. Bob and Lori, thank you for all your support over the years, definitely speaking out and looking out for your community. You have not been a wallflower. So I've had the pleasure of working with you for a very, very long time. And so even though I've been with the county almost 33 years, I did start out as a baby. So don't let the gray hair fool you and the years of service. But we are all public servants in Palm Beach County government, and we're here to serve you. I want to thank you again for inviting me, and to thank you for allowing me to come before you in 2016 to lay out the need for the infrastructure sales tax. That infrastructure sales tax was needed because we needed to improve our roads. And as I go through my spiel this morning, you'll know why. But you heard us, and you ended up supporting it. And so again, I want to thank you for the support of the sales tax. We actually followed through on what we told you. We gave you a list of projects that we projected would need to be completed as a snapshot of the infrastructure sales tax. We created that program, and as of now, we're following through on the program. The citizens voted, and they passed it during the general election of 2016. So we are 3 years into collecting the sales tax revenue. While we cap the surtax at 10 years, or whenever we reach $2.7 billion, whichever was reached first, that is when the sales tax would end for infrastructure. And so we've begun some of the projects, we've even completed some, and others are on the drawing board. But before we look at some of our renewal and replacement and new projects for Parks and Rec, Engineering and Public Works, Facilities Departments, we have addressed and we will look into the future on what's coming. So let's take a quick look at how we got here. Palm Beach County is the third largest county in the state of Florida. We have 67 counties in the state of Florida. But we're also, the state of Florida is the third largest state in the union. And so that puts us right up front with all the other counties across the state and the country. We are very diverse in our population. We have our elderly communities, we have our millennials that are coming on, and talking about diverse, they are very diverse. Our millennials have a different lens than some of us baby boomers, and so we've got our Gen Y, our X, and so here in Palm Beach County we need to protect and provide for the needs of all of our residents. We have a very, very strong economy in Palm Beach County. We're stable. Tourism, construction, and agricultural industries help lead the way for us, but we have diversified and we're investing in other industries as well, so that when construction starts to taper off, cool down, we've got other industries such as the aero engineering area. We've got a biotech industry that is booming. Our distribution and logistics areas are growing throughout Palm Beach County. And so we will definitely be poised to continue to move forward and keep a strong economy here in Palm Beach County. As a result of our diversification in our economy, we've been able to maintain our AAA bond rating. And it's AAA. Every time you see me, you're going to hear me talk about a AAA bond rating, because that speaks volumes for our community. That speaks volumes for people looking to invest in our community, as well as moving forward. If we ever have to borrow money, we can borrow it cheaper than anyone else because of our strong economy here in Palm Beach County. We were the first in the state of Florida to achieve a triple rated county, and it is my goal every single day to be a good steward of your dollars and public trust, so that we can continue to move forward in making sure that we remain a AAA rated county. I would like to provide you with a quick recap of our surtax to date. How did we get here? Did I say thank you before for supporting it? Well, thank you again. I can never say thank you enough for your support. The positive impact from the projected hundreds of millions of dollars raised through our sales tax allows for necessary projects to be completed. It will improve our parks, our roads, our overall environment, and continue to propel Palm Beach County into the top spots in the entire country where people love to work, live, and play. Recap. We have a lot of R words leading us to the 1 cent tax increase. The recession slowed down or even stalled our renewal and replacement in projects involving infrastructure across the county. For those of you that have been here for a while, you know it was always our goal under my predecessor, which I was an integral part of his team, that we did a pay-as-you-go. And so we were very good about making sure we were projecting what would need to be replaced and putting it in the budget. But when the recession, when we went under the recession, we ended up having to just defer any renewal and replacement as well as new projects. And it eventually caught up with us. Palm Beach County recognized that, along with the school board and other municipalities, that we had to do something so that we would not be like Fort Lauderdale in downtown, where your pipes are bursting and you've got sewer flowing all over the place. That does not bode well for people looking to invest in your community or your residents. And so our voters recognized that. We went before you to tell you what we needed. We worked with our partners, municipalities, the school district, and divided the pennies in 3 ways. The school board received 50% of the penny, the county received 20%, I'm sorry, the cities received 20%, and the county received 30%. We wanted to ensure that this penny did not have a negative impact on our most vulnerable community. So we exempted groceries from this penny, baby food, formula, diapers, medicine, some of the items that were exempt from the sales tax. We went further. We went back and we said, okay, voters, before we take this to you, we want a third party to look at our infrastructure and give you an objective look from what the county staff is telling you. We did it. We scoped it out. We hired a third party to come in, and they verified that it was necessary to assess our existing situation. The consultants reported that the county had implemented systems, practices, and protocols to identify life safety issues and maintenance issues. Clearly, we demonstrated regular maintenance on the infrastructure, and the consultants' report reflected that we had not neglected or ignored maintaining our infrastructure, but that the structural components had reached their functional life, resulting in reduced services to county residents and a potential life safety concern, such as unsafe roadway embankments. Let's take a closer look at our parks and recs. In Lake Ida, our street park playground was in need of some tender, loving care. The corrosion on the equipment, the peeling paint, and you can see the aged structures. So we knew that it was time. We could not allow our kids to play in this environment. So it was definitely time. The normal lifespan for playground equipment was 10 years. It was closer to 17 years when we actually replaced it. This is what it looks like today, thanks to you. We spent roughly about $44,000 to replace the dangerous equipment. We ensured that we had new swings for the kids ages 2 to 5, a climbing structure for kids 5 to 12, a balance bar for all ages, and you'll notice the sand is gone. The new mulch surface is easier for those with disabilities to access. It also doesn't have the hygienic concerns, and it is a lot more giving when kids fall. So we believe we've made for a safer and more enjoyable park for our kids. Another update at 2 of our parks in the area, the pathway repairs at Calusa Park has ensured a safe and hazard-free public use. And the dog park pathways at Lake Ida are also repaired, so you and your favorite 4-legged animal is able to have a smooth path to walk or jog. And these two, the cost for these projects were roughly about $31,000. Engineering that impacts all of us, our roadways. The orange cone season is what some of us coin it, because everywhere you look, there's orange cones. But if we sacrifice through the orange cones, once it's done, we're much more appreciative. While the penny surtax will get much needed road repairs going on the roads around here specifically. You can see Jog Road between Boynton Beach Boulevard and Lake Ida, and on the right, Golf Road between South Military Trail and Congress Avenue. That is what it looks like. Today, engineering and public works has moved forward, and you can see that those cracks, potholes, and damage to your vehicles have been repaired, and will continue to improve our roadways. Here's some before and after pictures. We've spent roughly about $700,000 resurfacing and restriping projects along the same stretch of Congress. You can see the improvements on the stretch of road that was more than 20 years old. Facilities and development operations. This is the South County Administrative Complex redevelopment project. This building is approaching the golden age of 50 years and needs some serious work. The elevator needs mechanical equipment replaced to be proactive against future failures. The center photo, if any of you have had the opportunity to obtain parking spots in the administrative building, which you have, you're aware of some of the obstructions in parking. And so we need to get out and maximize the number of parking spaces in the parking lot. So the parking lot is very small. We want to make sure that we're maximizing that space. And the renovations is going to assist us in doing so. The lobby of our youth services also hasn't been updated. You can see the rippled carpet and orange flooring. Many of the renewal or replacement projects are backlogged from 2006 when the recession really hit us. $6 million will resurface the parking area, improve the main entrance, which is there in a very left photo. This is not only about aesthetics. This multi-million-dollar project is really focusing on health, safety, and operational continuity in this place of business. You utilize the South Civic Center for a number of activities, and other groups also utilize it. So we want to make sure that we're bringing it into the 21st century and that it reflects the environment in which you live, so that you're proud of the structure that you're walking into that it is safe, it is clean, it is conducive to your health. So the planning is underway for this task as I speak. The total BCC collection to date is roughly about $243 million. We've collected from January of 2017 to January of 2020. Taking a look at some of the municipalities in the area around Alliance of Del Rey, they have also collected. Boca, about 18.5 million. Boynton Beach, 15.2. Delray Beach, 13.3. Lake Worth Beach, 7.8 million. And West Palm Beach, 22.5. Things are moving at a good pace right now in collecting surtax. Collections at the current rate will probably end the sales tax sooner than the 10 years. So we're looking at maybe only 9 years, and if we continue to boom, it may be even sooner than that. What's ahead? I told you about the projects currently that have been completed and the ones that are under construction, the ones that we're currently planning for. But we also have AquaQuest Pool, which is going to undergo a $6 million program to get us to where we need to be. I think we closed that pool because it wasn't safe to use. It was built back in 1978 and it's crumbling. So we're moving forward with that particular project. Along with the playground, that will also be addressed. A baby pool replacement will be there. We've got a lot of water in Palm Beach County. And so as your kids and your grandkids move here and move closer to you, not necessarily in the house with you, but closer to you, we want to make sure the amenities that we want our grandkids to have are in place and they're safe. So I think that you're going to be extremely happy when we're done with this. We want to always be a family-friendly community, and so we're planning for it as well. Next slide. A consultant was just selected for another project that we're going to be moving forward with. We're looking at more road work being done by the end of the fiscal year 2020 on Lake Ida Road. So yes, we're going to have a few more orange cones. Crews will resurface the area from Congress Avenue to Swinton Avenue with a $500,000 budget. This stretches more than 20 years old. The recommended age for a structure like this is normally 15 years. So we are attempting to catch up. We have a lot of things yet to come. As promised, the county has the Infrastructure Citizens Oversight Committee to make sure that the projects we told you we would complete are still online and scheduled to be worked upon. Any changes that are being recommended, and so far it hasn't been. It is my goal to stick with the projects we told you we would do. And so we have not made any significant changes. However, we do report to this oversight committee on a monthly basis so that they know that we're moving forward and projects are not being stalled. We have key leaders in our department that go to them every meeting to make sure that they're answering the questions that any of the any of the members of the committee have. And so far things have gone extremely well. So I'm going to end on that note so I leave enough time. If you've got questions, I will attempt to answer those questions. If I don't have the answer, I will get them and make sure that Bob and Lori has them. But before I put the mic down, because Lisa will have my head otherwise, Census 2020. I think that Lisa passed out our guide to services and it's covered with Census 2020. I want to point out the fact that it is a critical count and every single living, breathing individual needs to be counted in Palm Beach County. This is where our federal dollars are allocated. Each one of us are worth $1,600. Of course, we're worth more than that. But that's what the federal government is tagging on each person, $1,600. We have roughly about 1.5 million people in Palm Beach County. That equates to 2.4 million per year, and the census is over a 10-year period. So we're looking roughly at $24 billion that could potentially come to Palm Beach County in housing, in medical assistance, road work, etc. Any federal dollars that are predicated upon population formula, we're impacted by. It also will give the state of Florida 1 or 2 additional representatives in Congress. And I'm hoping that the South region of the state of Florida, that we will end up with 1 of those additional representatives. So please, please remember, I think it's March 12th through the 14th, 16th, you will be receiving a card in the mail from the Census Bureau that tells you you need to go online and register, and you need to account for everyone in your household. Everyone in your household. So if your grandkids are there with you, make sure that they're on the list. If a friend happens to be staying with you, and they're going to be there April 1st, make sure they're on the list. If you know of snowbirds, Easter Falls Lake, they need to be counted in Palm Beach County. So we can get the dollars and make sure that we maintain our level of service for you here in Palm Beach County. So that's my spiel. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this great presentation. Going back at one of the slides, you had mentioned something about how the penny tax dollars would be spent. And 20% with cities, 30 county, and 50 for education. Could you expand on the education part and what those funds are being used for?
I will attempt to do that. Did the school board member leave? Karen? Okay. Bottom line, the infrastructure sales tax is only for capital. It is not for operating and maintenance. And so they are upgrading. I know one of the things that they were doing was upgrading their existing schools, where they needed to do new roofs, they needed to put in more electronics for the kids to learn. They hardened those particular schools. And a part of the hardening also is twofold, not only for the kids in the schools and to be more efficient, but it also helps whenever we have hurricanes and we're utilizing schools for shelters. It's all capital. It's replacing their windows and ensuring that the kids are safe within the school system.
That was a very good explanation, because we have board members that are on the Independent Sales Surtax Oversight Committee. The Alliance has, and that's what we work on. John is on that, and that's just what they are working on. Great. Any other questions? Wow. Wow. Yes. Harvey Arnold has a question.
Only if it's easy.
Okay. Thank you so much for attending this meeting and giving us the information. You mentioned roadway down to Swinton. We're unincorporated. We do roadway for the cities?
If it is a county-owned road, and then the county is responsible regardless of whether it's in the unincorporated or incorporated area. The county has a network of roads that moves our residents from the very northern end of the county to the very southern end of the county, from the Atlantic to Lake Okeechobee. And so we've got roadways that connect and cross and move us through. We're not responsible for local roads within municipalities, but we are responsible for our network roads that run through municipalities.
So Lake Ida is one of them?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Congress too, and we're so glad that the county, a couple of years ago, our county engineer told the city that the Congress, they didn't want to make it smaller. You know the way on Federal Highway they've been constraining the roads and we lose traffic flow and all. And it's a problem. Well, they wanted to do that on Congress, but our county engineer said, we don't want that. We want a good traffic flow. And I thank you for that. We have to keep up with that. It's best to keep those large arteries moving. Thank you. Anything else? Any other questions? Oh, yes, we have one here. This is so informative.
I know this impacts all of us sitting here, but you mentioned improvements to this building, finally. Will this entail closing down South County Civic Center for those improvements, or will it be done kind of piecemeal so we can use a piece of the building? How will this be accomplished, and how long will it take?
Well, I left my crystal ball back at the office, but what I can tell you is that we're in discussions now, we're in the planning stage. If we can do what needs to be done, piecemealing it so that we have some continuity going and the facility can still be used, we will do so. But if it's going to be more efficient to shut it down, get it done, and provide space somewhere else for you to temporarily meet until we're completed, we'll do that as well. So we're going through the evaluation stage, and I'm quite sure we'll be reporting back out to you before we make the final decision.
Thank you very much for this excellent presentation, and a little gift for our speakers, the Alliance Latte Cup. Yes, yes, under $100. So no problem with the Inspector General. Well, remember this Friday, a really, really big, really terrific event this Friday, the Expo, and also next month is going to be another fantastic program, March 4th, Wednesday, March 4th, the expansion of Atlantic Avenue, an update from the Transportation Planning Agency. Nick Uren will be here. And we're also going to have a former commissioner and our former mayor, Steve Abrams, talk about some mass transit and Brightline and all. So come next month too. So please, let's all see you here on Friday and get the word out about the Get to Know Palm Beach County Expo.
Oh, okay. Quick meeting.
Right.
No, I haven't. Bobby.